Hey, welcome in everybody to episode number 3 of the Ham podcast, guys. You got Helmke and you got Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome with podcast number 3. Yes.
Yeah, you feeling pumped? I love the energy tonight. I love it. You must have had a good week/weekend last weekend.
Yeah, I also had a good night's sleep last night too, so that helped.
There we
It,
go.
it was one of those where I had me a few beers yesterday. I was like feeling good, and went to sleep kind of early around 9 because it knocked me out, and woke up at 2 in the morning wide awake. It's one of those, but it was
Okay.
still good. But yeah, I had a good weekend and good week. Weekend time, so can only be happy about it. How was yours?
Love it. Oh, it was good, my man. I had a great weekend last weekend. I mean, what more could I ask for? I had some good brews, some good fights, got some rest. The week has been long, but it's finally back to what I do best, and that's partying on the weekend, my man. Who says you can't party in your late 30s?
Who says that?
Not me.
It's
Not
not me
me.
either. I out party anybody. I don't care if they're 20. I don't care if they're 40 or 50.
Let me ask you this, Mike.
Uh huh.
I see in the chat a lot, right? This flag football thing. These guys are always talking about flag
Oh,
football. Is that
fancy.
something you used to do on the weekends a lot? I heard you had quite a career in flag football, my man. What's
I
going
would
on with
I
it?
would say, I was like maybe the Jerry Rice of my time in flag football.
Ooh.
If I had to go that route.
So what
Uh,
you're telling me, hold the horn. You're telling me in your fantasy league, I mean, I'm sorry, your flag football league, you were the Jerry Rice of flag football.
yep, that's true. I would give it that. Yeah.
What do you think, Fancy? What are we calling BS here, Fancy? Oh wait, or are we saying it's true? Was this guy the Jerry Rice? I love to know your thoughts on it.
He has never seen me play flag football, so he would not know. But yeah,
Ah,
I have all my jerseys downstairs. I had all the grinding moments, my flag football days, all the trips I took, for tournaments. It was good. It was a good
can,
time.
can I put in a request?
Okay, what's the
Next
request?
next week's episode,
Okay,
you gotta wear one of the jerseys, my man. We
okay,
gotta see one of these Hall of Fame Jerry Rice flag football jerseys. I'm just saying.
okay. I'll bring them out. I'll bring at least one out.
Ooh,
I'll bring one out.
I can't wait. I expect to see like dirt and blood on there still. I'm hoping.
I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't even know what's on those jerseys anymore, if there is. No,
Oh,
but
real.
but but playing flag football though was fun. You play a lot of people that are because in flag football it's all about speed, and there's a lot of fast people, and of course there's the flag too, um, but I mean,
Yes, the flag and flag
well,
football.
because the flag, yes, it's moving, and then people are turning their hips to dodge, making you dodge the flag, but there's a lot of fast people and a lot of talented people and good
So
teams.
So, Mike, it looks like X Space Ape 77 is calling for some clips here next week. Do we have any clips that we can play next week?
I don't know if anybody recorded any of the games. I
Well, we're
mean, I
gonna have
have to
to.
look around. I have to ask around, but I don't know. I don't know. I
Do
know
I
I
gotta
don't
put
have
a
any.
Do I gotta put a call into NFL Films and get this stuff released?
You know what? Yeah, either that or maybe NBC Sports. One of them's got. There were a lot of trucks. A lot of satellites on those trucks. There are a lot of big cameras. I mean, one of them's got to have it.
And I'm sure you had some big moments there, right? You had some big games with some
Yeah.
big
I
moments.
had some nice interceptions. I've had because I played both sides. Um, because flag football, you don't have a large team. You have most people play both sides, and then there are some that only want to play one side of the ball. So I had some good touchdowns. I had some good interceptions. Some nice plays. I even played a little bit of quarterback on some teams, so it was fun.
Just to be clear, when we're saying both sides, we're talking offensive defense here.
There's more than two sides to a football game.
Just wanted to make sure we're
I
clear on
mean,
this.
there
All
is the
right.
water boy. H2O, high
It,
quality H2O.
it's funny you brought that name up. It's funny you brought
And
that
I did
name
see that
up,
movie. I
Mike.
think last weekend. I think.
I remember. You know what? We're not going to go there. We're not going to
No,
go
we,
there.
we, we can. I had Gumby as a nickname because I was
Oh,
flexible. I was flexible. I can make some outlandish plays. And I also was nicknamed the Water Boy. That was a coach gave me. But yeah,
but I tell you what. This man had. He was talking about speed. He had speed. This man could outrun a gazelle back then.
Yeah.
This guy back in the '90s. You think Deion Sanders was fast in the '90s? Take a seat, Deion. Hold my beer while Mike does this 40-yard dash in a 4.1440.
Man, Jerry Rice said he had a mountain he ran. His was like a hill. I had a mountain that I ran.
Buddy.
Okay, that part's not true, but yeah, I did love playing football, tackle, of course, in high school, and then I played flag after, and that was fun. I played that for, what do you think? Like, was like 10 years, Humpy?
Yeah, I would say about 10 years.
Yeah, those are fun. Those are some fun days. Like, just had a lot of talented people out there, and quick people, and a lot of teams that have been around for a long time. They had some great plays, so it was fun. I enjoyed it.
My favorite part, I know I went to a game or two, was all the beer drinking at the end of the game. That was definitely my favorite part. Nothing like drinking beer on a Sunday afternoon after like 3 games.
That's true. So we would always have beer after the game. On some teams we did rotations every week where you would have to bring 2 cases of beer, and we would try to keep it to Bud Lights, like Dos Equis, Modelo, something that everybody liked. There were some people that would bring their own, but also share to everybody. But yeah, we at least try to have a rotation where someone would at least bring 2 cases every game, or every game.
Love it. Now, okay, I know we talked about big moments. Mike, you gotta tell the world, Mike.
Okay.
You gotta tell everybody here about my big moment on Valorant. You gotta tell them, guys.
That was good. That was good. So yeah, so me and Humke were playing. This was the first big moment, which is me and Humke playing. We were playing many Valorant matches on Unrated. Excuse me. And it was fun because we were Humke was getting some kills. I was getting some kills. We were going to the round, but there was one round in particular. But before we get to that round, though, so I mean, yes, did Humke still look new in the game? Yes, and the other teammates did notice it. At first, they were a little bit like, what the hell? What's this guy doing? So we had to let them know he's new. He's learning the game, and they were like, oh, okay, you know what? That makes a lot more sense now. It wasn't just a guy trying to mess around. And there was one. I mean, there's many different moments, but this is like the biggest moment. But so the rest of our team died in the match, or in that round. So it was just a one-on-one situation. And I want to say this led us to match point, and then we won the game. It was a one-on-one moment, and the other teammates and myself were cheering Humke on, like, get the kill. But at the moment, we're all quiet because we knew he was about to fight the person it was the one-on-one with. And then Humke peeks the guy and kills him, and we win that round. And it was a great moment because the other teammates were actually literally cheering for Humke, and it was and I mean I was too, but it was great to see that gamers they know that this person is new, and they're cheering him on, like, hey, we got you, we saw what you did, and it was an awesome play. And I mean, you got to tell me how you felt, because I mean I had like goosebumps, and they weren't even cheering for me.
So I got to be honest with you. So when it happened, and first of all, Mike, don't sell me short, right? I'm a gamer now. It was 1v1 left. 1v1.
Yes, it was 1v1. You are a gamer. No, I'm not saying you weren't a gamer. No, that round. So 5v5. Your teammates, which is me and 3 other people, we were out. It was you left. 4 of their teammates were out. So it was just 1-on-1.
1v1. And what I like the most is how Mike said, I peeked the guy. Right? It wasn't luck. I didn't randomly shoot my gun and it happened. I got the kid. No, I strategically crept around the wall. Fancy 08, you listen to this. I want you to take notes, Fancy 08. All right. I strategically creeped around the wall, spotted my target, peeked them, headshot, done. And as soon as I heard, now mind you, of course I know Mike, right? Mike's on the team. The other 3 people that we're playing with, I don't know them from Adam, right? I'm like, I don't know these guys.
Yeah, there were 3 random people.
Yes. When they started cheering, they started calling me by my character name, right, which was Brim. They're like, yeah, Brim, and they were yelling, and in my mind, I pictured them jumping out of their chairs and saying hurrah and everything like that.
But those confetti poppers, pow, pow. That's what it was. They were cheering like their team won the Super Bowl. Like it was awesome. And then I can literally hear you jump out of your seat because you were excited for that round.
I let out a few explicit words in a good manner though, an F bomb here, an F bomb there, and I was really excited. I want to say it was probably so far, not probably, so far it is the greatest moment in my gaming career so far.
I like it. It was. I mean, it was awesome. Like you played it perfectly. I mean, it's just like I said. It's cool to that they know that was something that you haven't experienced yet, and just to cheer you on. They didn't have to. They could just sat there and be like, good job, bro, or whatever. But no, they were excited for you. I was excited for you, man. It was. I wish I had that recorded. I wish I had it
That
recorded.
would have been a good one. However, I will say this: I finally lived a dream of mine. I got to play a round of unranked with Mike.
A match, a
Fancy
match,
a
a
match.
match.
I'm sorry, a match with Mike. Fancy '08 with goat cheese
Mm-hmm.
and with
Was it Papa Dallas, right?
beef. It was
Oh, was it beef or Papa
beef.
Dallas?
Yeah,
Beef.
I think it was beef. It might have been Papa as well. It might have been Papa and beef at one point. So
Oh, so when
the
we're saying
fact,
Papa, there's a friend of ours. His gamer name is Papa Dallas.
yes. So playing with those guys because I look up to them in the gaming world, right? These guys to me are the real deal, right? So being able to play a game with them knowing I suck, completely suck, and
You're
them.
I wouldn't say sick. You're getting started.
Yes. Yes. See, that's what I mean. The support that I got from them during the game, the knowledge that I learned from them that game. They took it easy on me, but yet they were still tough on me. They said, "Hey, we want you to go here. We want read the map, follow this."
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to continue to get better. So big shout out to all those guys, Knight, Fancy, Papa, Beef and Goat. Big shout out to them. Thank you guys. I'm going to continue to get better and eventually come for your heads. So yeah.
Exactly. I want to see it. Yeah, and that was a great matches because it was fun to have us all together, playing and just feel the atmosphere when you're playing with friends. And I know we were playing for at least like a few hours, and I know you were telling me that time flew by fast. Like we're just
Oh,
having fun.
I mean, you like we mentioned in the first episode, right? A couple weeks ago. I'm not a gamer. I didn't grow up gaming, right? Yeah, I might have played some Madden here, some Madden there, some NBA Live, but to actually sit there and play hours, that day I played 5 hours. I said, "Whoa, that 5 hours flew by, and it was such a great time." I don't think this is gonna make me sound horrible. I don't think I've had such a great time with a bunch of guys that didn't involve alcohol, right?
Oh
So
yeah, true.
yeah, there was no alcohol going on that time. It was all gaming, and I loved every second of it. So thanks to those guys for that.
Yeah,
I
fun.
felt like a real gangster.
It was fun, competitive, and it was just having a good time. But yeah, we're
Absolutely.
talking about being a gangster, you know. So what we were saying last episode as well was that we were going to do the top 5 gangster movies that we liked, and I don't know if you put yours in any particular order. I know I didn't. It's just my top 5 list. I don't know where I'm putting everything yet, but let me show you that list now. Give me one quick moment.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, DKN83, you're absolutely right. Now I know, although please don't tell my boss this, right? But now I know why you brought the PS to work. I should have been gaming a lot longer. Right? It
Yes.
was definitely fun.
Let me make sure I've got this. I don't even know what I have it on, but we're gonna find out right now.
Yeah.
So,
We ranked our top 5 gangster movies, guys.
I don't know how big that is. So hopefully you guys can see it. But we're gonna talk about our list. So this is our list. Mine's in no particular order. Humpy, is yours in any order?
No particular order of mine either.
Okay. So here is a list. Now I will say Menace to Society I've seen, but I had to rewatch it just to make sure it was fresh in my head because I couldn't put all of the pieces together, and when I watched it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that." So,
What did you like about that, Mike? What did you like about Menace to Society?
I mean, it was good to see like the kid that looked so innocent, with his friends,
Yep.
and then I mean, what did it say, gangster friends, and then they eventually turn him into something, one of them basically. making all the bad
I love it.
decisions. You know, he wanted to be a good kid. Good in life. Not I'm not ever going to harm anybody. And then of course he wants to harm everybody. Steals, robs. He took the guy's rims. In the drive-through. So,
Hey, not just rims. He said, "Order me a double
oh yeah,
cheeseburger with
that's right.
cheese."
He goes, I said with cheese. So yes. So, but I had to rewatch it just to make sure it's in my head. But
Yes,
so we'll go with your list here. So you have Menace to Society on your list, just like I
yes,
do.
yep.
Goodfellas, that's a good movie.
Classic. Can't go wrong with Goodfellas.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Putting people on the ground, stomping them in a bar. Can't mess with the family. Can't mess with the
Eh,
family.
you know, am I funny to you? Like a clown? How?
Oh my god, yes. Those moments are just awesome.
Oh yes.
I'll go through each movie. And if you want to say anything about them, you go for it, man. But yeah, and we have Blood In. Oh, I was supposed to be Blood In, Blood Out. I didn't put out. Here, I get that real quick. Though. Here you go.
Yeah, classic. You want to talk about a classic thug movie about gangs, blood in, blood out, 3 hours of pure Hispanic thug violence. I love it. I
Uh,
love blood in, blood out. Sangre por sangre, eh? That's what it's about. That's
yeah,
blood.
man. Yeah, it's just. I mean, that has a lot of great moments, but of course, the moment everybody knows is when he's running up the hill, and when it's just a gunshot goes off. But man, it's a great
Yes.
movie. That's another movie. Like I've seen it. I want to say I've only seen it a couple times, but it's also fragmented in my brain. So I'm going to have to go through and rewatch that one again, just to do it. I mean, why not? And then you have Casino. Now I have never seen Casino, at least
Oh my
not
lord.
not that I know of. Um, so I can't even say anything about this movie. Hopefully, it's about like the roulette table, winning some money, craps.
So
I'm gonna guess it's
um
probably nothing to that, but I just want to say
I
it.
DKN 83 is just as surprised as I am right now
I know.
that you've never seen Casino. Casino is absolute. It's got a little bit of everything, right? You got your thug, your violence from the mafia, right?
Hmm.
Your Italian mafia, and yeah, there's some gambling in there. They're gambling with their lives, Michael, with their lives. Okay,
Now, is this
and
like Vegas Casino? Because I know
yes,
gangs,
so
or what do I want to say? I guess when I say gangs, they owned them, but then they would take them out to the desert somewhere, and you don't even know where they are anymore. But
exactly. So this is kind of like what Casino takes place on when Vegas started to become big
mm-hmm.
and why it started to become big, right? The behind the scenes of it, the mafia, right? Exactly,
Oh shit,
DK and 83. Yes. Yeah, you'll never look at table vice grips the same again. But it's
that
all
just
about
that doesn't even sound good.
oh, it's wonderful. It's amazing in that movie. But yeah, you get your violence. There's a little bit of a love story in there, right? In Casino, a little bit of a love story, so you can't go wrong with that. It's just a beautiful movie. Again,
Mm-hmm.
it's about 3 hours, just like Blood In, Blood Out. So you make
Okay,
sure you have some time set aside to watch it, but you will not be bored. It you can't go
see that
wrong
right
with
there?
Joe Pesci.
See that right there? I'd be comfortable in a 3-hour chair right there.
There you go. I see it. I love it. But you can't go wrong with Joe Pesci as a gangster. Yes. Can't. You can't.
No, I mean,
So
but he's a great actor. So I mean, you can put him in any movie, and he's a great actor.
yeah, him and De Niro.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
they're in that movie together, and anytime they're in a movie together, you know it's going to be absolute magic.
That's I'm gonna have to figure out how many movies those two are in together. Because I feel like any movie that has any kind of you know gangster feel or the mob feel, they're in it together. So I gotta see what they're in together.
What I do love about it though, every time those turn a movie, they always keep the same thing, right? Pesci's the Italian and De Niro's the Irish,
He's the
right?
muscle.
Yeah, and he's Irish. They never try to pass him over as an Italian mobster either. He's the outsider, but he's a part of the clan, and I love that. They never, no matter what movie it is, they never change that.
Yeah. You know what movie I should have added? The one where he's in there with Morgan Freeman and I mean that's like a gangster movie. I mean, they may be in their 70s, 80s, but they go to Vegas and then they live it up. I forgot what the name of that movie is called, but
Yeah,
it was a good
it's
movie.
Las Vegas.
Is that what's called? Okay, yeah,
Las Vegas.
that's a good
Yes,
movie too.
yes. They were far from gangsters in that movie.
No, I think they were top notch gangsters. Just saying.
The only thing they were gangster of was their medications. That was it.
Hey, they could sell that too. Just saying. And of course, the last one on your list, The Warriors. I have that one as well. That's classic. That's classic.
It I've got two words for you if you're not a fan of the movie The Warriors. Suck it. All right. That is an absolute classic movie.
Warriors.
Yes. Anything from the 70s that can last this long in the movie world deserves to be honored. And I still remember the first time I saw that. I want to say um I was about 11 years old, probably shouldn't have been watching it. My dad was like, "Hey, take a seat. You're going to enjoy this." I was like, "You got it, Pops." And boy, was he right. It was a classic.
It was cool that they had to go through all the different I don't even know what you call like the areas they had to run through, but like was it New
The
York?
boroughs. Yeah, the boroughs
Yeah,
of New York.
and just to see all the different styles. Now, of course, they were kind of weird gangs. If you look at it today, you got the base. Now, I don't know the actual names of each one, but the guys that are wearing
I got
baseball
you.
outfits with bats.
The
Uh,
Furies.
and then you got the skater people, skater guys. You know what they were called?
The ones with the overalls or
No, they were all in skates. I think it was more like the subway.
oh, that's right, in the subway. Yeah, I don't remember their names. But you had, the Furies, the guys that were in the baseball, you had the skinheads, the bald guys. Now, I don't want to say skinheads because there was actually some brothers with them. So they were the Turnbull ACs, right? You had I mean, it was just a magnificent the Lizzies. Can't forget about
Oh
the
no,
women.
you can't.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, the gang that stole the show for me in there were the guys in the green, right? You remember the orphans? They weren't
Yes.
ranked, but they were always ready to battle.
Trying that I can't remember them at the moment.
That's where the Warriors met the one chick in the pink
Oh
top.
yes, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
But that's when she led him to the other girls.
Yes, because the Warriors were asking permission to cross through the orphans' street, their hood, and the orphans were like, "We're gonna let you pass this one time," and that's where leave it
That's
up to the
right.
woman. Yeah, he's
Yes.
like, "So you're just gonna let any crew boogie on through, huh?"
I mean, it's just it's great classic, and it's one of those where it matter when it's on, what point it's on, you watch it. It's good.
Absolutely,
But yeah, I'm with you
absolutely.
on that one. It's a great movie. I wouldn't say it's probably the first gangster movie because there's gangster movies that go back in the day, but it was kind of
Yeah,
more of like your at that time like a modern, I would say, gangster movie. Because I remember I was reading articles and there was like YouTube, not YouTube, well yeah, YouTube videos of like news casts at the time showing that different real life gangs are going in there, wanting to see that movie, and
exactly.
sometimes it didn't always go well in the movies, uh, but like for that movie with all the different gangs going together. But yeah, it was. I mean, classic, and it was good to see at that time.
I remember my dad telling me that, because the Warriors, they tagged the big W, right? And he said, even here in San Antonio, when that movie came out, a lot of people started tagging the big W on walls and
Oh wow,
bridges. Yeah. So he was like, yeah, it was crazy. He goes, there was no gang that was actually the Warriors, but people around here started tagging the big W because it was such a popular movie. And I was like, that's pretty cool. That's badass in my
yeah,
eyes.
because they appreciated it.
Yep.
Now, of course,
Yep.
I
And
have a lot of
yeah,
the
that's what
same
I was about to
movies
say.
you have. So, Goodfellas, Menace to Society, Blood In, Blood Out, The Warriors. The only one I have that's not on your list, and I want to know why it's not on your list, is well, I have Godfather. Should be well, what's it? The Godfather. So why is that not on your list?
So I might get the same reaction, but I've never seen The Godfather. Never seen it, and I was never a
Okay,
Marlon Brando fan.
I kind of figured
So
you hadn't seen it, and I'm trying. Okay, now, okay, I can see Casino because I know a lot of people talk about Casino, and that should be a movie you should watch. But The Godfather, you haven't seen that? Not even one of them?
not even one. Yeah, DKID83 saying, "Wow, yeah, not even one Godfather I've seen." I'm telling you, I was never a Marlon Brando fan. Unexcusable.
I'm just gonna
You know what?
say, Humke, we are gonna have to take you to the mattresses. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm guessing that's something from the movie, huh?
Yes, or you may I'll have you swim with the fishes. One of those. I don't know. Or a horse head in your bed. One of those. You know,
Well,
we'll figure it out.
I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. I've got a 3-day weekend this week, right?
Okay.
I'm off due to the holiday. I will watch The Godfather if you check out Casino sometime during these 3 days.
Okay. Deal. I could do that. So
Deal.
yeah, see, wow and unexcusable for The
I know.
Godfather.
I got more
So
than
cool. Hold
just
on.
the one.
Let me ask, as a Deacon. Okay, Deacon. What is worse, not seeing The Godfather or not seeing Casino? In your
Good
eyes.
question.
So I want to
Good
see
question.
what he says. And anybody here that's watching this later, and if you're rewatching this VOD on Twitch, go to YouTube for me and watch it, and just put a comment also about this moment. What is worse, not seeing The Godfather or not seeing Casino? I want to know.
So apparently, the DCAN 83, by far, it's worse not to see The Godfather.
I would have to agree with that. Not because I've seen The Godfather, but I feel like The Godfather is like it's that one movie that you like. It's a must see. It's a so if you were had to say like top whatever gangster movies, I bet you that's number one on probably 95% of people's list.
I get it. I think you know what I think it is I have this thing with me that I don't like to watch these mainstream like top movies. Like I've never seen The Godfather, like I told you. I've never seen Star Wars, any Star Wars.
That I still think you suck about because you haven't seen it. Okay.
Yes, I've never seen any Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, that's a come or go. But I mean, you got fanboys of. I mean, I've watched all Harry Potters. I loved it, but I mean, that's not like a must see.
And I've never seen any Lord of the Rings.
Okay, that one that's a slap in the face. That's Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Those are two slap in the faces for me.
But you know, I hope I don't get my man card taken away for this.
Well,
but
we'll have to do nerd movies, and now I know a couple of them you haven't seen.
Yes, but I have seen like Sleepless in Seattle, and I've seen like My Best Friend's Wedding. I have a heart, you know. I've got a soft side, guys.
Okay,
even though I'm a big, tough-looking guy.
Those are rom-coms. That's on a different episode. So, but we know what your favorite genre is. They're great, but you have to watch The Godfather.
No judging. Yes, this weekend, I assure you, I will watch The Godfather, and I will give you my feedback on episode 4 next week.
Well, Godfather, there's 3, so I only have to watch one Casino. There are 3 different movies of The Godfather.
That's no problem. I got a 3-day weekend.
I would say just I mean, if anything, I mean, yes, watch all 3. The third one is like the one no one really cares about. 1 and 2 are the better of the 3. 2, in my eyes, is the best episode. Now, for me, you know what, Fancy? My list does not suck. I like my list, but I would have to say though, in The Godfather 2, you'll see it whenever you get to that point. There's a part where it shows the father when he's young, and I feel like they could have done a whole 3 movie series of just that, and had like, you know, at that time Godfather current as his own separate series or movie series, like the what do you call it, trilogy. So I felt like I would have watched a trilogy of the original father when he was, you know, young, and see that whole process. That would have been, I think for me, it would have been amazing. But 2 is my favorite of the Godfather movies.
See, now here you and I talked about this, Mike. We knew this was going to come up.
Yep.
DCAN 83, no Bronx Tale. So here's what I want you guys to do.
Well, there's before you say that, there's also American Gangster we didn't put on there. We didn't put Scarface on there. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of movies. It's hard to, you know, because there's so many good movies. It's hard to make just 5. You know.
Yes. So you guys drop your top 5 in the chat. If you watch back on YouTube on a replay starting tomorrow morning, drop your top 5 in the comments there. Right. We'll be more than happy to look at those and review those and see what 5 movies that you enjoy watching when it comes to gangster movies.
Yeah.
Right? About beef.
About beef. What?
You know, gangster movies are all about beef.
I get it now. Whew, went over my head.
I'm sorry. Did I go too gangster there?
You did. I wasn't ready for it, but no, that's true. Put it in the comments in YouTube. Let us know, you know, if your list is different from ours. You know, and so we can look at them. We can do a quick talk about the different. Talk about your list, the top 5, and how much different they are compared to ours. And maybe there's some movies I have not seen from your list, and give me something else to watch and look forward to in the future. So that would be great.
Absolutely. Now speaking about beef,
Hmm.
Mike. Speaking of beef, right? I don't know if you've seen the back and forth that's been going on online over Kanye's new album.
No, I mean I've heard little things here and there, but I haven't gone looking to see like what it's all about. The only thing I really have seen, he's mad at something. I seen a picture of him wearing a red outfit, and he's like wearing like a black hoodie or I don't know, something like a ski mask or something like that. But no, I don't know like a whole lot of what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, then again, right? I think you hit the nail on the head. When isn't Kanye mad at something or someone, right? That guy stays forever mad.
Yeah.
But this is what I know about it, right? And I could be wrong. So, guys, if y'all know something, drop it in the comments. Correct me. But it all started from what I saw when the rumors started coming out when Kanye and Kim started going through their divorce. That Drake was already kind of sliding in the DMs, as they would say, right? Drake was already kind of going and hey, what's up, Kim? Now, Drake denies it, Kim denies it, but of course, in Kanye's eyes, he's like, hold on, wait a second, right? So he's got the new album that was coming out, right? Now, forgive me because at first my Hispanic side came out and I was like, Donda? Donda? Where? Like, that's the name of the album? Where? It's Donda, right? So it's Donda. So excuse my Hispanic side, right? I was like, Donda? Okay, cool. He's Hispanic now. But Drake did a verse there in one of the songs. He was
Hmm.
featured. Well, before it was released, he cut Drake's part.
Oh,
Now, yeah, go
I
ahead.
feel like that's a bitch move.
I mean, but is it if you think the guy's trying to sleep with your wife, right? Is there a legit reason, or is that a bitch move?
Well, okay, when you do put it that way, well, it depends because a lot of times when you have stuff like that, you have a contract, right? And
Yes.
I feel like, I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want. You pay any kind of penalty that you have, but yeah, okay. So if he's sleeping with so and so's wife and he takes it out, I mean, you can't get mad at that because that's someone's wife, and you guys supposed to be friends, and then like you backstab your friend to do that. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. I would do that too.
Yes. Now it gets worse. It gets worse, Mike.
Oh crap.
So Drake made a comment about it, right? Kind of like whatever, I don't care. No, no, didn't hurt my feelings, right? Here's the thing, it probably didn't because whenever you have Drake on an album as a feature, the guy's gold. Whatever he touches is gold,
Hmm.
right? It makes money. So Kanye took that personal that Drake wasn't offended. So he tried to get under his skin by releasing his address to his home online for everybody to see. He released Drake's home address. So if you wanted to go buy, go ahead and I'm sure you can still find it unless they removed it already. But he released his address. Again, Drake just kind of laughed it off, right?
Okay.
No problem. But then Kanye goes and cuts Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy did a verse on one of the songs. Cut that one. Soldier Boy was not as receptive to it as Drake was. Soldier Boy basically said, fuck that dude in a nice way, right? That's basically what he said. And then he released the text messages where Kanye asked him to do the verse. He goes, you want to text me at 3 in the morning, asking to do a verse, and then you want to cut my verse after I spit fire? Don't ask me for shit again. Right. So that happened. Kanye went and cut somebody else's. Then he was set to release. So Drake did the ultimate payback. I'm going to release on the same day as you, Kanye, and let's see what happens. So Kanye adjusted to the chess match and released a day early, right? Now here's the bad news.
Okay.
He released a day early and no longer had to compete with Drake. However, in downloads and streams, he got beat by Peppa Pig. More people were downloading and streaming Peppa Pig's new show or movie or whatever it is than they did Kanye's Donda album. So Peppa Pig threw some shade at Kanye, right? So they said you can release our address if you want.
Jeez. I mean, that's kind of bad. I mean, that's actually very bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure Drake is going to outsell Kanye. Kanye is just, I don't know. He is different. We'll just say different. But and then I was hearing, yeah. So he was, I know, having those listening parties,
Mm-hmm.
and then he charged $60,000 for a listening party, and I think that was from where he, yeah, I think that's the picture that he was wearing a red outfit, red mask. But didn't speak, just walked around to his music, and it's almost like he's. I don't know if he's hurting for money. I mean, I don't know his situation, but that's what it feels like. You're trying to be like a money grabber. Let me just, my name sells. Let me try to get people in. Let me get their money. And I mean, it could be it. I don't know, but I don't know. He's different.
There's a term that gets thrown out a lot, right? In high schools and colleges, and I think it applies here to Kanye. He's trying to be a little bit of an attention whore.
Possibly.
Right? Little bit of an attention whore. How do we even know that's Kanye behind that mask?
Oh, that's
right?
true. That's true.
The guy hasn't said anything. He quote unquote vibes to his music during these get-togethers, right? So it's like, is that even you, Kanye, back there? Is that just one of your stunt doubles, bud? So, in my eyes, I'm not gonna download. I'm not gonna buy the Kanye album. Donda, as in, where is his mind at? That's how I take it. Right. So not gonna do that. But what I will say is let's go Drake, Certified Lover Boy. I can't wait to listen to it.
Well, I could say I haven't heard his album yet. So if there's a song I should listen to, let me know. But I haven't seen anything on the album yet, but I will.
I'm sure we can vibe off of it soon.
Okay. Well, it's not out yet?
No, it's out, but
you
and I can vibe.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, cool. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, because I haven't. I don't know what his top song is on that one yet, or what. So yeah, I'll have to look into that. But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll hear more from Kanye because Kanye was, albums that came out were great, and then he went to be with Kim, and then he went to be a choir. Like he wanted to have like gospel music. And now he's back making music he was making before. So I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah. So I see some of the feedback here. DKen83 said it wasn't great. Fancy 08, some good, some bad. DKen83 says neither one was great. Interesting. Fancy 08 came back with Drake has better singles than albums. And Zayn agrees. I agree.
I agree with that too. I mean, yeah. It's really hard for artists to make a great album today. But I do feel like they make great singles, but I don't know, albums aren't as good as they used to, I feel. I mean, you get some, but not a lot.
There's very few albums that you could play and just let it ride without skipping a single song, right?
Yeah. Like John Legend, Philadelphia, live from Philadelphia. Awesome album.
I raised you one on the John Legend, and I say John Legend Evolver.
Okay, I love that one too. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's many. I mean, I know there's a lot of people. I mean, not from my standards, but people love to watch, hear Taylor Swift's all the way through, Adele's all the way through. Of course, you've got,
Did you say Taylor Swift?
I mean, tell me a person that doesn't love Taylor Swift that doesn't love the entire album. Tell me that one. I mean, not me. I don't own any Taylor Swift music, but
I can't stand Taylor Swift.
I mean,
that's a whole nother thing. Right?
Okay, a different story.
I can't stand. But a good album is it's like a good deck, right? Zay says he thinks she plays flag football also.
Oh my god.
Maybe that's why you brought her up, Mike. Maybe that's why you brought her up.
I don't know. I think his favorite song was "Wrecking Ball" by Miley Cyrus. I think it was.
That's mine.
That's yours.
That's mine.
There you go.
You know what I love about Wrecking
Ball? But you love the song. You don't say you love her album though.
Yeah. You know what I love about Wrecking Ball? And I'm gonna steal this from a movie. I'm not even gonna say what movie, but I'm gonna steal it.
Okay.
It's a song that you can party to. It's a song that you can go
party
off of a relationship
in the USA.
Yeah. No. You can party to Wrecking Ball.
Oh, okay.
Right. You can exercise to Wrecking Ball.
Okay.
You can let out a good cry to Wrecking Ball.
Okay.
It's so versatile. You can play Wrecking Ball in so many different emotions. It's amazing. So yeah, Wrecking Ball is an amazing song. Don't ever talk about Miley like that again. No, I'll play it.
Okay, well, how about Stronger from what's her name? Kelly Clarkson. That's mine.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll raise you one. Let's go Fireworks from Katy Perry.
Fireworks? Oh yeah, Fireworks. That's right. I was trying to think, what's the song? Yep.
All right, we've digressed.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, let's get back on track. So
Yes.
Kanye's now in the past. We'll see what's going to go on in the future. Maybe
Yes.
there'll be more stuff that comes up. We can talk about that
Fuck
in
Kanye.
the later episodes. There you go. Fuck Kanye. So I want to go through and talk about a gaming item that I feel a lot of people are going to want the item if you like to game. Two, you have kids, or any other thing you can think of. It'd be a great gift. Not for this Christmas because it'd be hard to get. Um, what does it say? Fancy at the Hammer. Can I give a quick shout out? Sure. I don't know what he's going to talk about, but depending on what he says, we either will say it or not say it. But there is something.
Fancy '08.
So there's going to be something with Valve, which is Steam. Steam is a uh, online library where most games are found on PCs, computers. Um, but so everybody knows Nintendo Switch, the handheld. Everybody loves it. People like to play Mario Kart, every other game on Switch. Um, but now Valve is making their own handheld with their entire library, which is a lot larger than Nintendo's library. Because you can play many different types of games on Steam that you can't play on Switch. And of course, vice versa, you can't play Switch games on Steam. But there are a lot of different games that you can play on this called the Steam Deck. DECK. Make sure I say that properly. I want no misinformation. But let me show you just a quick video. I'll let it just scroll through so you guys can see it.
Let's check this out.
And I'll talk a little bit about it for everybody. So let me go ahead and bring this video over.
Don't worry about Fancy '08's shout out.
Oh, actually, wrong capture. We'll just do this capture. Let me hide that one. There we go. Sorry about that. So this is going to be the handheld from Valve, which is going to be the Steam Deck. And if you have a computer and you have your Steam library, any game that you're playing on your PC, you save your game, you pick up your handheld and get ready to go on a trip. Well, that saved game is now on your Steam Deck, and you can continue where you left off, and vice versa. You come back home, you connect to your Wi-Fi, or connect to the internet. Your upload goes right back to Steam servers. You connect to on your computer, and then you can play that save game as well. Another great thing about the Steam Deck is that you can connect it to like a monitor and use it as a computer. So it runs with Linux, and when you connect it to a monitor, you'll have a browser you can use. You know, it's going to look like a desktop. So it's basically like a mini computer as well. So if anybody hasn't heard about the Steam Deck, it's going to be a great handheld to have with lots of great games. Of course, great gifts for yourself. I'll just replay it again, and great gift for any kids in the future as well.
Big kids like me.
And me.
Now, real quick.
Yeah.
Yes. Real quick. You said you can connect it to your computer.
Yeah.
And use it as a browser. So if somebody wanted to connect it to the computer and let's say watch the Ham podcast on there through the browser, they could do that?
Yes, they can. Yeah. So it's going to have what do you call it? I can't think of it, but you mount it on like a stand, and the stand will have ports that you can connect your monitor to it. It will basically look just like your normal Windows, but it's going to be Linux. But it'll still have like the desktop feel, and you'll have your browsers that you connect to. You can look at your movies, any YouTube on there, of course, play your game on there. So it's basically a mini computer that you have once you connect it to a monitor.
I like it.
And then I'm pretty sure, I haven't looked at it yet, but you can connect it to a TV as well, and then sit down with a controller that connects to Steam Deck, I think on Bluetooth, and you can actually play it on the TV as well. But I mean,
interesting.
I should look to see how much, not how much it's going to cost, but there's 3 different versions, like a $3.99, a $4.99, I think it's like a $5.99.
And I'm sure that's based off of storage space.
Yeah, and storage speeds. I think the first one is like I think it's an NVMe, and then you have the second one, which is an SSD, and then the other one's an SSD but larger.
So slow it down for a dummy like me. What does that mean?
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna pull it up here real quick just to make sure I have the right ones. I knew when I came back with the NVMe, or sorry, it's eMMC. Now it's a It's like a slower hard drive.
Okay.
So it's still a great hard drive, but it's a slower hard drive. It's enough to get you the games working, but a lot of gamers are going to want the next level up. Here, I can bring this up here so you guys can see it. So it says right here eMMC, and then you have the next one up, 529, 256 gigabytes of storage space on an NVMe SSD.
The
That
drug I
means
took once.
I mean, a lot of times the acronyms just sound crazy, but the speeds on here are insanely fast. I could throw numbers at you, but I know a lot of times those numbers aren't gonna shine. But I can tell you, it can probably be, I would say, 5 to 10 times faster than this, if I'm not mistaken. This one is really fast. And then you do have the 512 larger one, 649, and then of course it gives you a little bit of extra stuff that it can come with. But that's the Steam Deck, and it's, I mean, for me, I mean, I have the Switch. I probably would not have bought the Switch if I knew this was coming out when I bought the Switch, but it's too late now. But it looks really good, and there's a lot of videos I wish I could show. I don't know if I can show them. You know, Linus is the biggest. Linus will show you. I think it's Linus. I could be wrong with how he spells his name. But there are so many games on Steam. Let me just pull up how many games are on Steam, just to show you.
Just an idea to blow y'all's minds real quick.
So
and while you're, go ahead.
Right here it says, so the last number I see from 2020, Steam had 10,263 games in its library.
Wow.
And let's see, how many games does Nintendo have?
I've only got 4 so far on Steam, so I got a lot of catching up to do.
Nintendo Switch has 4,068 games.
Ooh.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
That's a little more than 5,000 less than the deck.
More. Yeah, like 6,000.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not a math major. I apologize.
Yeah. But the games you get on Valve they range, because Nintendo has its style. I mean, more of the cartoony look, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the cartoony look, but with Valve and games, you get anywhere from pixel games to cartoony style games to realistic looking games. So there are so many different games that you can get on Steam and play them on your laptop, on your PC, like your desktop PC. Yeah. Now you can play them right there on the Steam Deck handheld, which is great for me.
Love it. I'm sure this is a must-have for a lot of gamers.
It's sold out because they release, like, you can reserve it for $5 and then you pay it when it comes out. But the first time they did it, I think it was like about a month ago, and it was out like in a half hour. All 3 models were gone half hour or less. I don't know exact time, but it was really quick. You can still reserve yours now, but they're saying if you reserve it now, you won't get it till like summer of next year. And they keep releasing it in chunks because they want to make sure that they can fulfill your order. But it's very, very, very popular right now.
So they're trying to be like Tesla. You gotta reserve this bad boy. You might get it a year from now.
Well, yes, but the people that did get it the first time are going to get it by Christmas.
Yeah.
And then, of course, whenever you did your reserve it, they give you a date. But I'm pretty sure there's been about 3 different reserve slots time frames now. Okay. So I think right now, last time I checked was a few days ago. It's around like mid next year. It's like summertime-ish.
Love it.
And but that's a big game changer. And I think it is going to, like, I hate to say the word destroy, but it's a good word because I think it will destroy the Switch. Because there are so many different styles of games on Steam, and it's just great.
Absolutely. I love it. I can't wait, man. If you get one before I do, tell me how it is.
I'll have you play it. What are you talking about?
Yes, there you go.
I mean, I'm not gonna just sit there and be like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, like that punk Jake Paul does. That's all he does is just sit there and get knocked down.
True.
And claims he won. Fancy 08.
Oh, that's who he was talking about? Come on, Fancy.
Yeah, that was his shout out. He wanted to give a shout out to Jake for the domination he gave Woodley. Enough said.
And just real quick on the Steam Deck, I believe that because the Switch you can't do touchscreen on the. Actually, I don't know. I never actually touched my screen, so I actually couldn't tell you that. I know the Steam Deck has a touchscreen, so you can actually, do the touchscreen on there too.
You've never touched your screen? You should touch your screen sometime.
No, I guess because I'm used to like my monitor, here on the desktop. But I know you're making a joke, but I'm just, but to be on the for reals, because I gotta give you the facts. I guess because I have my monitors, I never touch my monitors. I don't have so I just never, I guess, never tried to touch the Switch. So if you can, please let me know because I don't know. I should probably try it later.
Not all of us have monitors at home. Some of us have to touch our screen. All right, Jesus. God.
Hey, as long as you can fulfill your task, there is nothing wrong with it.
So, yes. So speaking of tasks, speaking of gaming,
yes.
This is something you were talking to me about, right?
What's that?
We were talking about beefs earlier, and I understand there's a bit of a beef going on right now. A lot of Twitch streamers are going to YouTube gaming now.
Oh, yes. That's
Talk
right.
to me about that.
You remember about that.
Yes, so, what's going
on? So there's been, well, this happened before because Microsoft had their own streaming service and they ended up not doing well, or maybe they just didn't want to do it anymore. But this is happening now because YouTube gaming has been in the mix for a while. But there hasn't really been anyone, I would say, big that has been on, I would say, like their payroll. Like they haven't put a contract out for somebody. But lately, there are actually about 2 days ago, 3 very big streamers on Twitch. Now, there may be people that have never seen them because Twitch has a lot of streamers and everybody likes to watch what they like to watch. But Tim the Tatman, Dr. Lupo, and Courage, I want to say it's JD, they have all moved to YouTube Gaming and have left Twitch to go there. But they're also joining a person named Dr. Disrespect. Now, he's not under a contract with YouTube Gaming. There has been a fallout with Twitch where he was banned from Twitch, and he ended up going to YouTube Gaming so that he can continue streaming. But with Dr. Disrespect, because Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tatman used to stream all the time, and they would play games, and they had great, funny content. But when he got banned from Twitch, Dr. Disrespect couldn't play with anybody on the Twitch platform at all. Like, he couldn't be just talking on there. He couldn't be playing with anybody that was streaming on Twitch. Like, he was banned from everybody's stream on Twitch.
What did he get banned for?
We don't know that yet. He knows now, he said. So he's been banned for over a year, probably a year and a half. He just recently found out a couple months ago why he was banned, but he can't tell anybody because he's suing Twitch right now. So when more information on that comes, I'll inform you. Yes. But 2 days ago, so those 3 moved over to Twitch Gaming. Now it could be another surge where Twitch streamers are going to start moving over to YouTube Gaming because YouTube Gaming is going to want to build their brand, give these Twitch streamers big contracts. Now, the last time we heard of Microsoft doing this, they were paying streamers like $5 million contracts, if not more.
Wow.
Just to move over to their service. And that doesn't include any sponsorships they get. That doesn't include any of like the subs or whatever their model was to make more money, ad revenue. Doesn't include any of that. That was just, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars if you want to come over here to our platform and stream here. Now, I don't know what the number is for YouTube Gaming. They haven't released any of those numbers yet.
I'm sure it's going to be big money, though. I mean, you're talking about not only is it YouTube, but you're talking about they got the YouTube TV money. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they're going to throw some big numbers at some of these big names.
Oh, yeah. So Tim the Tatman he had like an average of at least 50,000 viewers every stream every day. I would say Dr. Lupo was probably around that same thing, if not more. Courage JD, I'd never watched his streams. I knew of him. I watched a lot of his clips. I just didn't watch him live. But it did feel good because I used to watch Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tatman when they were on Twitch, and to see them again 2 days ago, they were, it was like a bromance. Like, you get to see Dr. Disrespect grin from ear to ear like the entire stream because he had to not play with any of his friends.
Yeah, he had his buddy back.
Yes, he had his buddy back. Him and Dr. Lupo, they were all good buddies. Courage JG, I don't think he played a lot of games with him. Yes, Zane's right. Twitch is Amazon, so Amazon owns
We're gonna
Twitch now.
ask about that.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like, is it literally owned by Amazon now, or
Yes. So Twitch
wow?
used to be its own company, and I want to say, quote me if I'm wrong, Zane, or anyone in chat. I want to say it was about maybe 4 years ago, give or take, maybe a year. Amazon bought Twitch, and yeah, it's owned by Amazon now. Could be
You think
three,
that's
maybe
gonna
3
water
years.
it down? Do you think that's why people are starting to leave?
Um, I really don't know why they're leaving, because I do know Amazon has made some weird changes. Like they are, Amazon. They are an ad revenue company. Well,
Yes.
I mean, yes, they have their store, but they want to make revenue off a lot of their ads. So we've seen a lot more ads on Twitch, because of Amazon. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I feel like they could have done it better in certain ways, because a lot of times with the ads, it will literally cover your entire screen and you can't see the content
Oh,
anymore. So it's
yeah,
just,
that's not good.
yeah. So it's just like you're messing up the viewership, of the viewer to the streamer, just so you can make money. Now, of course, the streamer makes money off the ads too, but it's just kind of a lot more ads. Now, I want to know more of why they left. They haven't really gave that type of video yet, but I'm pretty sure it has to do a little bit of Dr. Disrespect. Probably, okay, a lot more about the money, a little bit about he wants to play with his buddy again and not have to worry about, I can't play
Yeah.
any of his stuff or play with them. And maybe there's something to do with he was maybe tired with Twitch and Amazon. I mean, I don't know, but I have a feeling we'll see more people move.
Let me ask you about this, because I know you're an avid gamer and you watch a lot of streams.
Hmm?
How do you feel about this? How do you feel about some of the biggest names on Twitch moving over? How does that make you feel?
No, not bad at all, because it gives it competition. It allows another, streaming service to have that competition with Twitch, where, you don't want one service to have it all. So it allows more streamers to spread out and get the viewership. Of course, if YouTube Gaming can hold the viewership for their streamers, so I don't see any issue or problem with it. I hope it's not the same thing with Microsoft streaming at the time, where they do away with it and they all come back to Twitch, because then that just shows that Twitch defeated that service again. But
Yeah.
we'll see, because it could be more people leaving, and if these 3, 4, I think there's another person that has also left. I don't remember the name, but they left before those 3. These are 3 big names, so we'll have to see how they do.
So there is no tricks here. They are legit leaving.
They already left. So
Okay.
his
So
last
they're gone.
stream was Wednesday. Like, I know for Tim the Tap Man, his last stream was Wednesday. Um, and then he put things out, or maybe it was Tuesday, I can't remember. But he did put out like stuff on Twitter, and he like a video saying, "This is my past, this is my future," and he was like, "Oh look, I'm now on YouTube Gaming." And I was shocked, because I didn't hear anything, like any hints that he was wanting to leave or this could
Yeah.
happen, and just like it just happened. So it was,
Interesting.
yeah, it was like a shock, but we'll see how it does, and hopefully it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad there's no tricks going on, because there's been a lot of tricks lately. A lot
Oh
of
no.
tomfoolery. A lot of tomfoolery, Mike. A lot of tomfoolery going on.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know if you've heard. There is a high school
Hmm.
by the name of Bishop Sycamore that managed to trick the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN.
I heard something about this.
Blew my mind. So this high school, right? It's a online high school. Apparently, when you go to their webpage, it's not even functional, right? And they called up ESPN and said, "Hey, we have a number of kids that are D1 commits that are going to D1 colleges that are going to be there next year.
Hmm.
We'd like to be put on TV. ESPN does feature some big high schools from around the nation, right?
Okay.
And so apparently ESPN obliged them, and they had them going up against IMG, which is one of the biggest high schools, when it comes to football in the nation, right? They have a lot of D1 recruits. These boys are some big
Like
boys,
top
man.
notch, and they always get picked
Top
up.
notch. Yes. So this high school, claimed to have D1 commits already. Well, during the game in the second quarter, they were already losing 30-0. right?
What?
Yes, they were getting spanked. During this second quarter, the announcers of the game were like, we just want to go on record and say that Bishop Sycamore contacted us and they told us they had a number of kids that were already D1 commits. When we looked at them in the database, tried to
Mm-hmm.
look them up, we couldn't find any of them in our database for when it comes to recruiting. We looked at other databases, we couldn't find any of them, right? Red flag, right? My thing is why did you wait so long to look them up, right? And if you didn't wait so long, why did you still put them on TV? Here's where it gets worse, Mike.
Okay.
uh, Bishop Sycamore that week when they played IMG was on a Sunday. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the game was on ESPN. 2 days before that, they had a game on Friday, which is a no-no.
How do you have two
That
games
is
in a week?
exactly that is one. It's not good, right? And two, it's not legal. Not only because you're having too many games in a week, but it's a safety hazard for these kids, right? Um, Notice I said kids. Let me rephrase that. It's a safety hazard for these men. Apparently, a lot of their players were junior college dropouts. They weren't even high school kids.
What?
Yes, they were. It came out that they were junior college dropouts and they were 19, 20, 21-year-old kids, right? Then it comes out that the coach from Bishop Sycamore was fired a few days after the game, right? Because his background came out that he had uh, couple of warrants for fraud from another state,
Oh God.
right?
So this is like
So,
a big mess of
oh,
everything.
huge mess. It gets worse, right? Then it comes out that
Real quick,
the
I agree with G1 that this is like some Netflix shit.
yeah, exactly.
It probably has to come out on Netflix sometime.
Oh, let me tell you, if it's not Netflix, you're gonna see a 30 for 30 special on
Yep.
this on ESPN.
And
Right?
got thumped.
ESPN's yeah, and they got thumped. Yeah, they got destroyed, right? But it came out that the guy who fired the head coach was the defensive line coach, right? The assistant coach,
Uh-huh.
as because he's the superintendent of that district. Yeah, yeah, exactly. My thoughts exactly.
Okay. Well,
Right.
okay.
So,
Well. Anyways, like, how did ESPN not do any research on this? Like, a red flag should have been like, we've never covered this team ever. We've never put any player from this school anywhere. Like, they've never had someone that went to like a college, or maybe they have. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. But how did they allow that to How did they slip up that bad?
that's a great question. That was my question. That's the $1 million question. You are tagged as the worldwide leader in sports. You have probably the best researchers when it comes to sports. And you allowed this high school and this one coach, right? It's the one coach who was behind it, the head coach, to trick a whole network into putting this team of junior college dropouts on TV and get spanked,
Jeez. Yahoo
right?
Sports better. I agree, Zane. Yahoo Sports is
That was
better.
Mike. I'm surprised they didn't recruit you, Mike, with your
I mean,
your background in
yeah,
flag football.
my Jerry Rice, skills, like I could have been there.
Exactly. How were you not recruited to play? And what's
Wait, what's
funny?
the school called again? I think I'm gonna go like enroll right now.
Yeah, what's funny is they're called Bishop Sycamore,
Uh-huh.
right? Bishop Sycamore. What are those initials? BS.
Yes, because
He's
they're all
full
full
of
of.
bullshit.
Yep.
Yep. Exactly.
That
So
is wow. I mean, it's crazy they could pull it. They could do that. Like pull that off. But it's too. It's worse because ESPN just didn't do any work to make sure that this was valid, and then just cover the entire game. Like it's
yeah.
and they had fake names. Because I think you said or I read they had fake names on their list.
Well, yesterday it came out that the roster that they sent the announcers, the commentators,
Mm-hmm.
it had a list of names but no numbers next to the names. So the commentators the whole game had no idea who was actually making the tackle
Oh, so they were saying
or
like, number
making a
56
catch.
or something.
Yeah, no, it was I think that might be Kringle McCringleberry, right? If I can steal that from
Oh,
a
okay.
show.
I was like, what? There's no way they said that. Okay, that makes
No.
it okay. Was
So
it?
yes,
What did G1 say?
that's like the movie Accepted, bro. Ask me about my weed.
Oh man,
Yes, Yes, good movie. Accepted. Absolutely. Ask me about my wiener.
What's up, Papa Dallas? He said late but present, but yeah, better late than
Yes.
never.
Yes. Appreciate it, Papa Dallas. Thank you. Thank you, my man. I gave you a big shout out earlier. You can talk to Mike about it. But yeah, man, big crazy thing there. But to put all that aside, right? Something serious happened this weekend.
Yes, something very serious happened this weekend. I went positive for the second week in a row in our UFC picks,
Get out of
and
here.
and I said I was a great picker. And now, of course, me and Humke both went. Was it 4-2?
We both went 4-2.
But just to go on it real quick, just to let you guys know, yes, we both went 4-2. We both had some great picks. They were great shows, and I just want to show you guys just the outcome. Now, if you are here live, you don't want to watch it, I would say turn around, turn off the sound. If you're watching back on the VOD or on YouTube, go ahead and now just skip this part and not watch if you haven't seen the fights and you want to watch the fights later. So I'm gonna go ahead and start switching over to it now. So cut it off now if you are not wanting to see this.
Don't cut it off. Don't be a punk. Just playing.
So right here is going to be our. I'm just going to scroll through it. We're not going to talk much about it, but we did go. We both went 4-2. Great fights. Just want to show you guys the fights, the winners, and just so you guys can see them. But yeah, there was some great fights. Kevin Lee messed it up for me. A jerk, whatever. He always fails me when I pick him. I should stop picking him probably. But this right here, this fight, if you want to rewatch it, that is a great fight to watch.
Which one are you talking about?
The Ricky Tercios and great
yes.
fight. This one was still a good fight. Not as good as I thought it was, but I thought this was a great fight, even though it did end on the third round, but it was still a great fight.
Yes.
Because my guy won. I was one I picked. Just saying.
Whatever.
So, yeah, if you want to make sure that you do win some money in Vegas, go with this guy. 2 weeks in a row, great picks, just saying.
We tied last week. Calm down. We tied last week.
Yeah, I'm saying 2 weeks in a row, though. 2 weeks in a row.
You know what 2 weeks in a row buys you?
Great money in Vegas because you picked my picks, just saying. But yeah, spoilers, like Zane said. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that real quick because I know we were talking about our picks. So I wanted you guys just to see them. Like I said, we both went 4-2, so it was a great weekend. But from here, this is going to be it for episode 3. And next week we want to do, I think, what is the top 5 rom-coms? I think we're going to do next week.
Yeah, top 5 rom-coms. We also want to give a perspective of the world from a man's eyes next week.
Yes. And just give a little insight on that and get some talks and get you guys' feedback on that also. And of course, we've got our fantasy draft tomorrow. And then of course, the NFL starts next Thursday with the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. That's going to be great. Cowboys, I hope, win. But it's almost like a doubt because it is Brady and then the defending Super Bowl champ. So we'll have to see on that. And we'll talk more on that on Friday, and talk about the game, and I'll either be crying on that stream or super excited. So we'll see. Anything you want to add, Humpy?
Yes, 2 things. I hope I still have a computer after that game. And last, absolutely, like always, guys, just remember, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
Now, and before we go, I know Fancy wants to rewatch that dumb Jake Paul fight, blah blah blah. And no, we don't need a shout out for that guy that you're trying to name. I'll just say Jake because I'll give it to him. Yeah, he had a good fight, but I felt like I want to see a second one just to see Woodley just win. I hopefully.
You know he's got to get the tattoo for that, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even know if he's done it yet, but you know what? We'll research that and we'll talk about it next time to see if that has even happened. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Peace. Appreciate you guys being here on episode 3 of the Ham Podcast, and please enjoy life and be safe until next Friday. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.
Latest.